Yes, sir.
Eric Moore. The thing that you're getting at is that at the core of the human soul, that understanding of who I am and operating out of that sense of love seems not to be the functions within the political system. You know, the parties tend to separate and divide and then use fear and anger over their issues than to mobilize their vote. How would you address that? And I mean, is that an inevitability with the political system that we have, or is there another way that can be approached?
Well, that's a great question, Eric. We have the great dilemma in which so much power has gone to Lansing or to Washington that the stakes have become so high. I mean, they have. I mean, they literally, my wife and I were sitting with some friends at our home when the legislature was, going through that midnight madness, if you will. Once it was obvious that these tax increases were going to pass, Ellen, the young mother there, she's a third-grade teacher. The first thing out of her mouth was, "My children will not come back to Michigan." She didn't talk about the economics, she talked about her children. She said, "My children will not come back to Michigan." Rooted in the economic issue, but the first thing on her mind was this. I think that the way our political structure is right now, I think there is a hunger for a man or a woman who will begin to speak in a different way about what freedom really is and what responsibility really is. I had a conversation with some friends in Detroit. I'm involved in some schools in Detroit, and I said, let's do a thought experiment. Let's say tomorrow that the existing system, the existing Detroit public school system, didn't exist anymore. Let's just do a thought experiment. And I said to this African-American friend of mine, what do you think would happen? And he said, no one would come to help these children, except my own people. He said, and it goes like this, your people wouldn't help. Now, at the root of that is fear. Perfect love casts out all fear. But he said, if those schools weren't there, your people wouldn't come to help my children. So why is there this distrust in the conversation? And I think that the next generation of political leadership, people say politics, that's just a dirty sport, and, there's all this bruising and whatever. Politics is rooted in a profound understanding of civitas, of charity, of what the polis is, a common sense of one spirit, one mind. You were a Spartan, you were an Athenian, you were a Roman. And if you think that, and where we've gone, I think, off the path, is it's all become about power and money. It's just become about power and money and the reallocation and redistribution of resources, and it's because of a failure of vision that transcends where we are. And I think that's why we have, so therefore we fight over this issue, that issue, da-da-da-da-da, whatever it may be. I think the other piece is, and I would encourage each of you in your own way, you have to, most of you are younger than I am, you have to go out and create the future. One of the reasons that some of my friends and I got involved in doing the schools that we're doing is, everybody will say, well, this wasn't working, this way. We just said, let's go create a future. Let's just go do it. And in 9 months, we opened up a school. It took 160 kids. Today, we have over 1,100. Come and teach for them. If and it's a matter of not sitting back and complaining about it. It is getting into the arena. It is getting dirty in the arena. But recognizing if we can really talk of a different vision, other things will just flow from it. And I don't care whether what your politics are. There is a common sense of who we are as people, and if we appeal to that in the deepest, most profound way. But I think that man who told me, your people wouldn't care about my children. spoke a deeper truth.
Got time for two more?